Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Locker Room Chat. My name is John Williams and I'm joined tonight here by Channel 6's own Matt Hagan. Welcome in, Matt.
Thanks, John. I'm glad to actually make it on time this week.
Right, and we're still waiting on Mr. Clem to get here, so...
He must have hit that red light again.
He must have. He promised he would be here, so no way he's going to miss tonight. So
we're going to hold him to it if he shows up during this segment.
We may be looking for a third man out there. So
third man, kid, someone that can replace him.
But there's a lot going on in the sports world. Tennessee basketball. It's basketball time in Tennessee, starting tonight.
Actually started last night. The Lady Balls. They had their preseason last night. Kelly Harper got her first win as a coach over Carson Newman.
Right, they weren't that impressive. 70-44. Normally they'll get over 100 points against Carson Newman, not taking a shot at the Lady Eagles. But I think the Lady Balls, they shot 35%. But it's exhibition.
You also got to think about all the transfers and all the graduates they had from last year. They're trying to fill in all those shoes again, fill in all the roles.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the Lady Balls do under Coach Harper coming in. Brings a lot of energies. Sort of reminds me of Pat Summitt in a way, just her style. So yeah. I think
everywhere she's been, she's made it to the NCAA tournament. So we'll just see if she can keep that going now that she's in a higher and a much tougher conference than she's been in the past.
That's about what the Lady Balls got left going is that NCAA streak. Barely snuck in last year.
Yeah, they've yet to miss an NCAA tournament. Hopefully that's going to keep going this year, and I'm not just jinxing them by saying that.
But the Volunteers tonight, they're tipping off against Eastern New Mexico. We were listening a little bit of it coming down, and so it's an exciting time for Tennessee basketball with the recruits they've got this year. Josiah Jordan James, the 5-star, and a couple other players joining the Vols, so it's going to be interesting.
I know listening to it early on, Eastern New Mexico State actually had the lead twice, and at one point, Barnes put out 4 freshmen on the floor and took out one of the seniors. I'm thinking it was Jordan Bowden, but I'm not positive. They only have 2 seniors on the roster this year. So this is a young team coming back.
Coach Barnes, he don't mess around. No matter if you're a freshman or a senior, if you're not doing your job, especially on defense, you're going to be sitting over there by him.
Yeah, and that's one place you don't want to be, especially during the preseason.
But we was hoping to have some guests in studio tonight, but apparently that fell through. So hopefully next week we'll have some more guests in studio. So this week's BBB Channel 12 OEB Law, the game of the week is Cumberland Gap at Rockwood. Both teams come in 4-5. Cumberland Gap's won 4 straight. Rockwood has won their last 2, and I think the winner of this game will get 3rd place, and the loser will be 4th in the playoffs.
And you'd rather be 3rd, not only because you're playing the number 2 seed in the previous region, but there is an outside shot as a 3rd seed that you would be able to actually host a playoff game.
Well, you'd have to hope for some upsets for a number 3 seed to get to host a game that is in AA. So
yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but Rockwood is in Region 3. Am I right? Like they're in
Region
2.
Region 2.
They're in 2, so they would end up, regardless, they would end up traveling for the semifinals to Region 1. Unless it's the same, the 2 teams in the semis are in the same region, and then it would be the higher seeded team.
Right, it's Region 2 AA, so we'll see how that shakes down. There's a lot of, we'll get into all the playoff scenarios little bit later on in the show. Looking back at last week's game of the week, Oliver Springs Bobcats with a big win over the rival Coalfield Yellow Jackets, 27-0. Back-to-back shutouts for Oliver Springs.
I know I'm one of them that picked Coalfield thinking that they'd be able to get it done, but Oliver Springs surprised me with just how dominant they were. Don't know if the rain had anything to do with it, because the rain did affect a lot of games in the Knoxville and East Tennessee area this past week.
Oh yes, it was terrible last week with the weather, and I'm sure that affected. You know, look across all the games that we picked. It was the scoring total was down. Out of our 10 games we had, there was 5 shutouts. So definitely the rain was a factor.
In the 2 games I went to for Channel 6, it was just a muddy mess. I went to Grace Christian and CAK first. The score when I left at halftime of that game was 2-0. It was a blocked punt by CAK to get the safety in the back of the end zone. You could hear Coach Bradley, who used to coach over at CAK, telling his kicker, just kick it. Don't care where you kick it, just kick it. Get it out of the end zone. And he couldn't do it. He ends up rolling off of his foot and going out of bounds. And then the second game I went to was Farragut Hardin Valley. I got there at halftime. It was 12-0 Hardin Valley. You could have bet that it was 50-0 with how hyped up the Hardin Valley players were on the sidelines. There were more people in their student section than in the stands, jumping up and down, singing to the music, just having fun.
Well, look who's here, Mr. Clem.
Yeah, let's see. It's not too late. He made it before the first commercial break.
He made it. We'll give him a break. We might have to give him a tardy, but he's here.
We don't have to find a new replacement just yet.
Better late than never. But Landon Gallion in the Oliver Springs game, I watched some of the replay that night, and he was the man. I think he scooped up a fumble and scored to get the Bobcats off and running, and they came right back. He caught a touchdown pass, and then he caught the 2-point conversion, and it was pretty much Oliver Springs' night against Coalfield. It was the Bobcats' first win over Coalfield since 2009, so I think they broke a 7-game losing streak against the Yellow Jackets, so Oliver Springs gets that number 2 seed and stay opposite of Greenback.
Yeah, and that's one thing that they're really proud of after watching the game earlier this year.
Right, so they'll be the number 2 seed. Coalfield will be the number 3 seed, and they'll travel to Oneida this Friday night. They'll be hosting Oneida in a non-region game, so another big game for Coalfield. Also, Anderson County, the Mavericks winning their 7th straight game. They went to Chattanooga to play East Hamilton and exacted a measure of revenge for their Lady Maverick volleyball team. East Hamilton knocked them out of the state, but the Mavericks went down and defeated East Hamilton Hurricanes 29-14.
I actually watched that game because East Hamilton does live stream it. The one thing that surprised me was Anderson County had 3 turnovers in the first half, leading to all 14 East Hamilton points. That's what I've not seen Anderson County just fumble it 3 times. No picks, it was just fumbles, and one was on the first play. But in the second half, they were able to move the ball a lot more consistently and put it in the end zone, give them their 3rd straight region title.
Right, so congratulations, Anderson County. I believe it was, I heard it was T.J. Holmes who had some fumble issues early, but he more than made amends for that. It ended up with 43 carries for 204 yards and 3 touchdowns. So 43 carries, 200. I mean, when's the last time Davy Gillum team had a player carry the ball that many times?
When's the last time he just had a team carry the ball that many times? Not a player, just his entire team.
You probably have to go back to when he played.
Yeah, and then Austin Elliott had 5 catches and 123 yards and a touchdown. He also had 8 tackles, 1.5 sacks, and Stone Cummins had another 11 tackles in that game.
Right, Mr. Cummins had another good game. Quarterback Stone Hatmaker, 10 of 18, 190 yards and a touchdown. Also, well, you mentioned Mr. Elliott with the
5 catches.
5 catches.
123 yards and a touchdown.
Going back to T.J. Holmes, he's up to about 940 yards rushing on the season. He's averaging about 100 yards a game, and he's becoming a workhorse for the Mavericks. Of course, they were looking ahead. I think they've got Sequoia this week. It's senior night, and the Sequoia's not won a game, but I think the Mavericks are already looking ahead to a date with Greenville in round 2.
Yeah, if you look at their Max Preps page, they've already got Greenville and Elizabeth that's scheduled on that page. They're not just looking past Sequoia, but they're also looking past their round 1 game either against Union County or Granger.
Mm-hmm. And probably the best game of the week was last Thursday night when Oak Ridge traveled to play Powell. Well, I thought the Wildcats were going to pull it off. They led 21-7 going into the fourth quarter, and Powell stormed back, much like they did against Anderson County to win that game.
Yeah, just some notes that I see right here on 5-Star Preps. Opening kickoff, Jackson ran it back 85 yards for the touchdown to open the score for Oak Ridge.
Yeah, he had a heck of a game. 20 carries, 204 yards, 2 touchdowns for the sophomore Kendall Jackson.
And Jacob Adams had 18 tackles. It's very hard for any player to get 18 tackles, but they still couldn't get past Walker Trusley. 17 of 36, 202 yards, a touchdown, and then he had 2 rushing touchdowns as well. He just kept them going down that side in that second half.
Right, I understand there were some questionable calls in that game. I didn't get to see all of it, but for what I did see, Oak Ridge was pretty much dominating. I know they called 1 touchdown back. Mitchell Gibbons had a long touchdown run. They called it back, and Powell just kept them pinned back there in the fourth quarter, able to get good field positions, and went down and scored, I think, 16 seconds to go ahead. So Powell, with that win, they clinched the region title outright, and of course, they got a big game, non-region at South Dole this week.
Yeah, I wonder how they're going to do against Elijah Young. That's going to be a really good test for that defense because they haven't faced a running back to that caliber yet this year. Now, their defense has done well, stopping the run, stopping the pass, but when you have a guy who's rushed for over 1,700 yards on the season, and that includes missing basically the entire Seymour game, they've got to really game plan against that, and South Doyle knows they're going to game plan against him. So you don't know if there's going to be any tricks up their sleeve. It's supposed to be a rainy game again this Friday.
All right, Elijah Young, he's been amazing this year, and South Doyle's really starting to come on here at the end of the year. So that'll be an interesting game. That's a possible matchup, probably in the semifinals on down the road in the playoffs. In other games, Harriman got a shutout over Oakdale, 38-0. The Blue Devils, they're off this week, so their regular season is complete, but as I understand it, they'll be the number 4 seed in the Region 2 in Class A. So congratulations to Harriman. Coach Tapp got his Blue Devils back in the playoffs.
After the way they started their season, you weren't sure what was going to happen because they got in the middle of that season just losing a little bit too much, and then finally they hit that mark and started getting the momentum, and now who knows, they may have some good momentum going into the playoffs with this 1 week to rest.
Well, they've had some injuries, especially at the quarterback position, and they got that big win over Midway in week 8. It was 21-20, so that was at 1 point put them into the playoffs. Kingston squeaked by Pigeon Forge last Thursday, 13-10. That was sort of a surprising score.
Yeah, Pigeon Forge has been a great team this year, high powered, but Kingston's defense stood up and were able to just hold them. I've not seen a Pigeon Forge team, except when they played Alcoa, score that little this year.
Right, and Kingston has a big game. They were traveling to Gatlinburg-Pittman.
That's actually the WATE tailgate game on Friday. They're going to be out there starting at 4 o'clock. Because one of my favorite things about that stadium is if you look over the south, I believe it's the south end zone where Gatlinburg-Pittman runs on, you've got the Smoky Mountains in the back. It's one of the best looking facilities.
The only time I've been to Gatlinburg-Pittman Stadium, it was a monsoon, much like last week. I saw Anderson County play them in a playoff game probably about 10 years or so ago. So it's the only time I've been to Gatlinburg. And looking at some other scores, Clinton Dragons got their first win, 12-7 over Campbell County.
I wasn't able to be at that game. I wish I would have been. But the number one player that week, I'm trying to open up my stats right now that I took earlier this week. That was Connor Moody. Connor Moody had a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown in that game. Now I've got my stats up. I can pull.
Right, that was a game. Campbell County led 7-6. Clinton finally went ahead in the fourth period. It was actually that touchdown pass to Moody, Connor Moody, from Trace Staggerson, and that's the first time Clinton had led all season.
You are right on that one.
That's an interesting stat right there, but.
Yeah, now I've got the stats up. Trace Thackerson went 7 of 11 for 76 yards in that touchdown. Moody had 4 catches for 42 yards and 9 rushes for 53 yards in both touchdowns. Another big player that you and I were talking about on the way back was Bryce Collins. He pinned Campbell County inside the 20 on 3 separate occasions.
Inside the 10.
3 inside the 20, 2 inside the 10.
Yeah.
One was at the 16, then one was at the 6, and one was at the 1. He knew how to punt in the conditions. Was practicing it all week, knew exactly how to hit it and get it to stick because they didn't even bounce, they just stuck in the ground.
Right, they were huge. I was there in the rain and celebrating my 58th birthday that night in the rain, watching my Dragons. But
yeah, even though you picked Campbell County to win that one last week.
Hey, I picked Campbell County to win. Also, Austin Price, he picked Campbell County too. The whole panel on Rivalry Thursday picked Campbell County last week, so they were all wrong too. So.
And 5-star picked them. Will, our guest last week, Will, picked them as well. I don't know anybody other than myself who picked Clinton to win, and I'm glad I did.
But I was glad to see the Dragons win. Also, Edwin Resendez had 2 big interceptions in that game, and Evan Winchester ran the Wildcat, and he did a little bit of everything: passing, running, returning kicks, catching passes. So.
Will Briggs had another 13 tackles to add to his total. He's getting closer to 100 tackles on the season.
Right, defensively, I'm glad you mentioned Will Briggs, heart and soul of that defense. And they've got Carnes coming up Friday night. That's a big game in the region.
Oh, the players are having fun during practice this week. Earlier today, we know he's probably going to call in a little bit, Anthony. Coach McCamey gave him a challenge. Because this last practice before the walkthrough, he's like, let's just see what you can do, and had him hit one of the tackle dummies, and it's on our Facebook page. You can watch Anthony go out there and just hit one of the dummies, and everybody cheering for him at the end of it and laughing. Because everyone just had a fun time with this practice.
Mm-hmm. I happened to call in the scoreboard show Friday night, and Mr. Queener, Mr. Cox, I thought they was putting me on trial, you know. I thought I had to take the stand. Queener, he was taking some shots, poking a little fun at Clinton, saying how excited they were that they won a game, but, they should be excited. Those boys have worked hard all year. They've worked just as hard as anyone, and, it was fun. It was in the rain, and you should have seen them just diving out on the field after that win, so that was good to see.
They've only been blown out twice this year by Powell and West. They've been in 7 of the 9 games. They've played 7 teams with a winning record so far this year. It just shows they've had a tough schedule, and then they lost 13 seniors last year that all started.
Right.
And now they've reached, this is the first time in McCamey's tenure at Clinton, they've reached 1,000 passing yards, and they've also got 1,100 rushing yards this year. Trace Thackerson has shown out as a quarterback. I wasn't sure what to think when he first came in after Brock got hurt, but he has a chance of hitting 1,000 yards this year in his first season, and only started half the season.
Yeah, he was growing game by game, and Queener. I don't know about Queener. He says he's a Clinton fan.
Wasn't he supposed to call that game with Jim Harris on WYSH, or the station that you're actually watching their website if you're watching this online right now?
That's what I heard.
I heard Jim saying, Jim was saying technical difficulties, but with the rain, I wouldn't put that past him, but David was at the Oak Ridge game. He called that, and then he was giving Clinton props in the Oak Ridge game for hanging in tough and making a comeback. Then he was supposed to come to this game, but didn't come, and Clinton ends up winning.
Right, I think he was at the Fulton game. He's a Fulton fan, so maybe he'll call in and explain where he was at. So anyway, we're going to take our first break, and you're watching the Locker Room Chat. We'll be back shortly.
At Earl Duff Subaru, our reputation has been built on taking care of customers. We're Tennessee's only 8-time winner of the Subaru Love Promise Customer Commitment Award. This year, we also earned the Love Promise Community Commitment Award given for enhancing the areas we serve. This means you can be sure you'll have an excellent experience when you visit our store and be proud you're dealing with a company that gives back to local causes. Read our online reviews, then come to Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman.
Take I-40 to exit 347 in Harriman, or check all our specials at duffsubaru.com.
Roan Metals Group has been serving East Tennessee for decades. Locally owned and operated with convenient hours of operation, Roan Metals buys all types of scrap metal. Nothing's too big or too small. Still have that clunker sitting around? We've been buying them for years. Roan Metals Group are specialists in industrial scrap. We have what it takes to get any size job done. Roan Metals urges you to recycle responsibly. Scrap with only licensed dealers, a member of the TSRA and the ISRI. Roan Metals Group. Turn that scrap into cash.
Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood is the premier pharmacy service location. Let our professional staff help with all your pharmacy needs, answer your questions, or help with your medication management with our Medicine on Time packaging system. We also offer medication therapy management to ensure you're receiving maximum benefits from your medication. Diabetes care is available with one-on-one consultations, or you can attend one of our monthly diabetes information classes. Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood.
Really? Again? Hey, if I had automotive style suspension like the new Simplicity, plus a free floating mower deck for the best cut, I'd be all that too.
Well,
And if I had the expertise and advice of his Simplicity dealer, maybe he'd look forward to hanging out with me.
you don't have a Simplicity dealership.
Good point. Huh.
Yeah.
SL Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
For 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods has been a leader in supplying the highest quality equipment and apparel for sports teams throughout East Tennessee. Athletes, fans, and coaches alike rely on the knowledge and experience that only Reno's can provide. For the best in team sports, shop Reno Sporting Goods.
Do you want more phone calls? If no, listen up. Want someone local you can work with as opposed to some stranger calling you? October 1 starts Medicare season. November 1 starts healthcare season. David Vidragovich, me, I am a local agent and I am here to help. You call me, you only deal with me. Call, text 865-806-5837. Again, 865-806-5837.
For 3 generations, Jerry Duncan Ford and Duncan Family Automotive Group have earned a reputation of dependability, honesty, and character. We're proud of our Harriman roots and are grateful to serve the growing community of East Tennessee. Just a short drive from West Knoxville, we invite you to experience the difference today. Welcome to the family.
Welcome back to Locker Room Chat, and look who's here, Mr. Chase Clem, Mr. Roan County.
It's good to be back. A lot going on in Roan County. Sometimes it's tough to get up here, but had to get back up here for the special Halloween edition of the show.
Right. We should have brought some masks, I guess, but
I think we wear them enough
right,
anyway.
I think we wear them enough as it is, but I know you got tied up last Thursday.
We had what did we do? What was last Thursday?
Well, last Wednesday you had to paint the field.
Oh yeah, when Kingston played that doubleheader, which I'm told they'll never do again. I talked to Panky and some of the administration, Colton Airmore, and I think that stretched them about as far as they could. But they did a great job, and it was good because the middle school kids got to play on the field that it would have looked like if it was just a high school game. So we had all the checkerboards and all the stuff painted, and they got to play on it. And they're actually in the championship games this Saturday in Campbell County, so it's the middle school.
Oh, really? Just now doing their middle school championship.
So I think they play 2 or 3 games just back to back to back, the different classifications. So I know Coalfield's in it, Kingston's in it. I don't know who else is, but
probably La Follette.
Probably.
I would say La Follette, and then there's one. I don't know why I'm blanking. Not Caravel.
Maybe Oneida.
Oh, that could be Oneida.
Oneida's in it.
Yeah, Oneida, I'd say.
Jacksboro, that's the other one I was thinking of. Jacksboro could be in it too.
We've got I failed to mention the World Series is going on right now. We're probably hurting their ratings. So
probably. That's probably true. We better cut it short tonight.
I'll try to pull up the score as we're talking about it.
Yeah, get us a score on that. It was a wild game last night.
What about the Nationals coach getting ejected?
Right, yeah.
He was fired up.
Coach Martinez, he was...
They talked about Joe Torre afterwards on that interference play. Joe Torre, who now works for the commissioner's office, said they made the right call.
Yeah, because it was a judgment call, and you can't. I mean, I guess you can't argue a judgment call.
No.
Right.
So we're 0-0 at the top of the second with 2 outs. And now you've been following Mattress Mac. Do you know about Mattress Mac?
I do not know about Mattress.
He is a mattress furniture dealer in Houston.
That's right. Is he the one that made $13 million?
He's bet over almost $12 million in hedge bets and parlays and straight bets in this whole series. And if he hits them all, if the Astros win tonight, he'll win $19.5 million. He's going to net about $8 million tonight.
So what if they lose?
He's going to be sleeping on a mattress.
He'll have the mattress store to stay in.
He'll have the mattress store to stay in.
If you got that much money to bet, you're probably not hurting.
Probably not
either
hurting.
way.
Send some our way.
Yeah.
So what else we got sleepy tonight?
Well, I guess we're going to go ahead and look at the high school football polls right now. Dylan's going to pull them up here on the screen.
Here you go.
Starting out in 6A, Oakland and Maryville look like they're on a collision course.
That's true.
Semifinals again, and this year it would be in Maryville.
It would be.
It would be because it's an odd year, so it would be in regions 1, 3, 5, or 7.
And you see Oakland receiving 17. I'm assuming that's first place vote.
Yes.
So the odds-on favorite to win that classification. Maryville, of course, you got to be pulling for them once it gets into the playoff scenario. They're just the rich history of championships.
Mm-hmm.
You hope to see them have a successful playoff run.
You don't bet against them. Whitehaven, Tennessee got that trio of linebackers from them.
That was a good day.
Yeah, that was a good day. I think Jaden Springer also committed in Tennessee basketball that day.
Oh yeah, that was a good day for the Deacon Barnes. Let's take a look at 5A. Dick Powell, how deep you think Powell can make a run in the playoffs, Matt?
Well, it depends on which team shows up. Is it going to be the team that has to come from behind, like they did against Anderson County and Oak Ridge, or is it going to be the team that can just blow anybody away? Because they might end up either playing Central or West coming up soon in the playoffs, just to see what happens. And that's going to be their big test. Because West put up the big fight with them first. And you know Central, that's a rivalry game for them because they're both in the same little area. That's going to be a tough one. Last time I saw a beach that high was when Jalen Hurd was on the team.
Former Vol.
Vol,
Baylor. Bear, current, Sleepy? San Francisco 49ers, is that right?
I believe so.
I think he's on injured reserve, or I think he was hurt at one time.
He's with the 49ers. I haven't heard much about him, but...
Look, Tennessee's ranked in a poll.
That's the only poll,
That's the only poll they're ranked in. There's a shocker there.
But, West, you mentioned, Matt, that's probably the quarterfinal matchup right there.
Yeah, then
Powell and West. And that will be back again at Powell. So
Right. Then then it depends on if Central can overcome that loss to South Doyle last week, whether they're going to make it up there or not. And you guys mentioned South Doyle's up there too. So you've got your possible 2 quarterfinal matchups right there with Powell, West, Central, and South Doyle. And then the winners will play each other in the semis.
You got Elijah Young there at South Doyle. I saw him play against Anderson County, but the Mavericks kept him bottled up all night. I never did see him break anything, but that's about the only game he's been slowed down.
Other than the Seymour game I was at where he got ejected for a targeting call that was overruled on the 4th play.
And that's something that you don't see, is something like that getting overruled, even though it's blatantly obvious.
Oh, his wasn't obvious though, because it took him a good 10 minutes just to rule that there was a penalty on that play.
Mm-hmm. You got Powell. Powell's at South Doyle this week, but you look at all those teams there. You see Gallatin. They was a power back in the 90s.
Team that
in the 80s and 90s. That's good to see them back there.
Yeah, Shelbyville, which it's been a while since they've been ranked
Henry
up that
County,
high.
that's another team. Henry County, they're always hanging around, seem like. So
let's check out 4A.
Here you go. You got Anderson County 3 now, just behind Haywood County and Elizabethton.
Yeah, Haywood County, they were in the finals last year against Greenville.
Now is Anderson County only lost of the season to
Powell?
To Powell, okay.
In the 28-0 run in the second half Powell made. But you've got Anderson County, and this is what I told Sleepy earlier. If you look at their max prep schedule, they've already overlooked Sequoia, and they've overlooked their first round, which will either be Union County or Granger, and they've got Greenville and Elizabethton scheduled in the second and third round. So they're already actually looking over Greenville to play Elizabethton in the third round.
Interesting.
Well, they better not be overlooking Greenville. I'll tell you that.
Come down for the beatdown on them.
I think Elizabethton, they had beat Sullivan South last week 13-10. But they was coming off that big win over Greenville, so they probably had a little letdown, plus the weather.
Yeah.
But, it's going to be shaping up for some good games in the playoffs.
And before we hop over to 3A, let's take our first phone call of the night. Go ahead, caller, you're on the air.
Why would you assume Anderson County's looking over their opponent?
Well, when I was looking at the max prep schedule, they already had their possible round 2 and round 3.
Who makes this max prep schedule?
Mr. Max Preps, obviously.
So Mr. Max Preps may be overlooking them, but I assure the kids and the coaches aren't.
I never said they actually were. I was just going by what the max prep schedule says.
That's exactly what you said they were doing.
Well, if you're Anderson County, though, you've got to be, you don't want to get caught looking ahead, but you got to be thinking about that third round.
You'd like to make it to that third round, but, we've not gotten past them in the last 2 years, so to make that statement is just kind of taking a stab at it.
Right.
Kind of taking a stab at the community, and it's not appreciated.
Well, I don't think it's a stab at the community. It's just a website.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I believe it is.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Hey, have a good one, brother.
Right, I don't think Anderson County is overlooking Greenville. I mean, no way.
No, I was just saying what was on that schedule on there, and I noticed it last weekend when I was looking at everything. I never said that they were overlooking all their opponents.
But that's a matchup you'd like to see, though.
That is a matchup. Either second round too. Seeing them play Greenville in the second round is a good matchup as well because they haven't passed Greenville yet, and Elizabethton, assuming that everything goes the way it looks, they'll be the ones waiting on them right afterwards.
Awesome. Let's jump back to 4A on the polls, and we'll take a look at it. We'll get our man backstairs to get it up. Sleep, you got your Halloween costume picked out for this year?
Not yet. No. I better get it together.
I went as a tacky tourist the other night, so it was a hit.
Was it the best one that you've seen so far?
Oh, no doubt. I have the best costumes.
I've got an old Tennessee mask I wear sometimes.
Is it of a sheep?
It was back. No, it's just a just a mask. He's all painted up. He don't look happy. Like he's a little upset the way it's been over the years. But Tennessee football, we really talked about them. They looking good right now. Big win over
South Carolina.
Yeah, huge win. I didn't expect it to be that big.
Yeah, they're fighting right now. The Vols are fighting. I wouldn't surprise me they went out. The way Missouri's fell off.
That's what I like to hear.
And JT Shroud looks phenomenal in his first days playing, even though Jawan Jennings was technically the starting quarterback because he took the first snap from under center in the Wildcat formation.
That was a genius move for Coach Pruitt to bring Jennings out there, because if he'd have trotted Garantano out there, there would have been some boos raining down. But that was exciting to see Jennings, and they need to do that more. And
Garantano came in and did a good job.
Yeah, until he suffered the broken bone and do it in his hand, he had to have surgery on it afterwards.
Yeah, non-throwing, so
yeah,
that's good. And you got to see him and Pruitt have a little friendly exchange. So it looks like they've put the last week's Alabama game behind them and moving forward.
And then Maurer on the sidelines watching him, cheering him on, wanting to get out there, but they did the right thing, holding him off after back-to-back concussions.
It was good. All right, let's get back to our polls. We'll go to 4A. We finished it. I'm sorry. Let's do 3A. My fault. And, of course, Alcoa sits at the top, and you got to think they're the front runner to win that whole thing.
Yeah, they've only given up 31 points this season, got their 7th shutout of the season last week, which I made the bold prediction of thinking they would win, but I did not think they would get the shutout. That was my bold prediction last week, and I lost that part of it.
I want to say I heard that they might not have given up a touchdown in region play. I could be very wrong on that. But
I believe that is right.
I think I heard that on.
Yeah.
I think I heard that this week.
Like 4th straight shutout, I believe.
Yeah, I will look that up, and I'll let you guys know how long it's been since the last team scored.
Number 5 there, Upperman. A little shout out to my good buddy Jeff Inman, a Rockwood High School alumni. He played for Rockwood, and now he's a coach up there. Got his hands in a lot of things. He coaches a lot of different teams and helps out the football team.
The Bees.
The Bees.
Uh-huh.
The U.
And Upperman gave them a fight last year in the playoffs. And Alcoa had to come from behind and win that in the last seconds of the 4th quarter. So that could be another matchup that they're looking forward to this year, and that would be at Alcoa this year.
They also put a thumping on Oneida this year. So, and you look at
Loudon's 9-0.
Red Bank and Loudon, they play this week. Loudon's at Red Bank, so that's a big region. That's for the region title.
And almost rounding off the top 10, Gatlinburg-Pittman. Kingston travels to Gatlinburg-Pittman this Friday night, and that will determine a 3-4 seed, because you've got Alcoa 1, then you've got Austin East 2, and then the winner will be 3, the loser will be 4. Some would argue that it's better to be the 4 because you get paired with Austin East, or to be paired, I guess, to be paired on Austin East side, whatever number that is, 3 or 4, than to be paired on Alcoa's side, because all roads are going to lead to Alcoa eventually.
And I was thinking about that today, and you might as well go ahead and play them.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Play the best. If you're going to be the best, beat the best. And big opportunity right there. But tell us a little bit about Kingston, Chase. Heard you call in last Friday, Marcus Rose.
Marcus Rose went out. Injury. They were hoping that it was just a sprain, something minor, sit out a week, be back the next week. I think he went to KOC the next morning and found out he had some more damage. I think there was a tear or a broke bone. It was worse than they thought, so he's out for the rest of the season. But next man up, as you like to think. So I know Coach Pankey will have his guys ready on Friday. They're excited. So, but a big community support out for him and his family. He's a good kid. Refs football in our flag football league, so he's the kids like him. He's just a good kid. So we wish him the best of luck and wish the Yellow Jackets luck this Friday night.
He's an underclassman.
Junior.
Junior.
So he's got one more year, and I think the Jackets are leaving at about 2:00 Friday, hopefully to beat some of that traffic. It's a nightmare. Have to leave early to get up there, or you never know.
And we talked to Coach Pankey a couple weeks ago, and the running back, Elijah Hill, he was injured, I think. Is he back?
He's back.
Uh-huh. So that's good.
I think they're full go except for Marcus Rose.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take a look at 2A. And there sits Meigs County at 3. Expect them, or at least I would expect them to make a deep run in the playoffs. That's where Rockwood's region is, going to kind of run through eventually. Rockwood probably going to be on the road. They will be on the road. And again, this Friday night, a lot of playoff implications. I know we're going to get to them later, but determine who travels where. But Meigs County is going to be a tough one to defeat.
Right, Trousdale County, they're always seem like around the top. I saw them play one year. I actually traveled down and watched a game. They're purple and gold like the Bobcats. So Peabody, I don't know anything about them. They're 9-0.
I know a man named Peabody.
I know Vanderbilt. I know, but South Green, there's another local team at number 7.
So it's one of the best seasons they've had in a long time for South Green.
All right, and let's finish it up with 1A. And there you've got the dog, number 1 South Pitt, Greenback 4, Oliver Springs at 8, and Coalfield drops to 10. And that was a nasty game. I know Brad was there because it was the game of the week last week. That game was muddy. It was nasty. It was not ideal playing conditions for anybody, but it was a good game.
Right, it was
Didn't matter
shutout, another shutout from Oliver Springs. They were second in a row. So maybe Eric Oakes will call in and give us the Coalfield perspective on that.
Coalfield and Oliver Springs are going to be tough in the playoffs, but it's also going to be even tougher to get through the likes of Greenback, the likes of South Pitt, who are used to making deep runs in the state playoffs.
That would be a semifinal game, Greenback and South Pitt.
I'll look at that and just see what it looks like.
They're on the same side. They're on the east. Because one year I saw Coalfield host South Pitt. I think it was a semifinal game years ago.
And that'll wrap up our AP Prep football polls. I think we've got something that we don't talk about. I think we've got a wrestling thing to cover real quick. Let's pop that up. I know you're a wrestling fan, Sleepy. I can tell. Who's your favorite wrestler? If you had
wrestler, John Cena.
John
still wrestle?
Maybe briefly. Every now and then. I think he's in the movie circuit now. He had one of those injuries, career-ending injuries to do movies.
But the Mongolian Stomper.
Now that's what I'm talking about. That's who you remind me of, is the Mongolian Stomper.
Yeah.
What about you, Hagan? You got one?
It's been a while since I've watched anything, so I'm not as up to date with them or anything right now.
But when you did, no Kevin Nash, no Roddy Piper.
I've actually met Goldberg a few times. That would be the guy I'd pick because he usually does the announcements at Bristol. He does the driver intros.
Really?
So I've been in the media center with him a few times, and he's one of the funniest ones that are in there.
What is the wrestling? What are you talking about?
Let's pull that up real quick, our little wrestling announcement. The WWE to hold its first women match in Saudi Arabia on Thursday. It's tomorrow as part of its Crown Jewel show. So I know you'll be glued to that.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's true. It's on TV. It's got to be true. It's BBB.
Wow. They're going to wear their mask or whatever what they call that they wear on their face.
I don't know. I wouldn't try to pronounce it or we'll be in trouble. It says WWE announces today it will hold its first ever women's match in Saudi Arabia. However, holding the match requires both performers to adapt their normal ring attire to cover arms and legs in line with laws and religion of the region. So, have a little wrestling. It'll be a little bit different, but it'll be something interesting.
Yeah.
Something for you to do tomorrow night.
Maybe I'll take Freddie. He loves wrestling. Freddie.
Who's Freddie?
You don't know Freddie?
I don't know.
You don't know Freddie.
I don't know Freddie.
The mayor of Clinton.
Well, he's not from Anderson County, so we got to give him a little bit of credit for that one.
Lord, let's get these scenarios up before we get.
Let's take another break.
Let's take one break. This is the Locker Room Chat. Lines are open, 4838112, and we will be right back.
We need to pay some bills.
We treat you like family at RMG. Bring your junk, cars, aluminum cans. We buy it on the spot and we pay you a lot. We treat you like family at RMG. Yeah, we treat you like family at RMG. We treat you like family.
Rome Metals is located just off of Highway 27 between Harriman and Rockwood.
For 3 generations, Jerry Duncan Ford and Duncan Family Automotive Group have earned a reputation of dependability, honesty, and character. We're proud of our Harriman roots and are grateful to serve the growing community of East Tennessee. Just a short drive from West Knoxville, we invite you to experience the difference today. Welcome to the family.
I am a Simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a Simplicity dealer.
SL Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Reno Sporting Goods, your first choice for sports equipment. On the court, on the field, or in the stands, Reno's has the brand names you want. All the latest from Adidas, Under Armour, and more. From custom embroidery to screen printing, it's all about the game. For over 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods.
At Earl Duff Subaru, our reputation has been built on taking care of customers. We're Tennessee's only 8-time winner of the Subaru Love Promise Customer Commitment Award. This year, we also earned the Love Promise Community Commitment Award given for enhancing the areas we serve. This means you can be sure you'll have an excellent experience when you visit our store and be proud you're dealing with a company that gives back to local causes. Read our online reviews, then come to Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman.
Take I-40 to exit 347 in Harriman, or check all our specials at duffsubaru.com.
Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood is the premier pharmacy service location. Let our professional staff help with all your pharmacy needs, answer your questions, or help with your medication management with our Medicine on Time packaging system. We also offer medication therapy management to ensure you're receiving maximum benefits from your medication. Diabetes care is available with one-on-one consultations, or you can attend one of our monthly diabetes information classes. Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood.
According to the internet, 40% of the people do not answer the phone if they do not know the number. My job is to answer your call and help you get the right Medicare or health care plan. I'm David Vudragovich, licensed agent since 2007. Avoid avoiding phone calls and just call or text 865-806-5837. Again, 865-806-5837.
Welcome back to the Locker Room Chat. Chase Clem, Sleepy, Matt Hagan, 865-483-8112. We're going to run out a few quick playoff scenarios before we get to our pick segment. So as soon as we can get those pulled up, we will quickly go over them.
Yeah, there's a lot of different scenarios.
If you win this, you travel here. If you win that, you host a game. In Rome County, the only team hosting a home playoff game is Oliver Springs. So I don't think Midway's going to make the playoffs. Harriman's got to travel. Rockwood's got to travel.
Here you go. Here's
and Kingston's got to travel. So in 2A, looks like the winner of Rockwood, Cumberland Gap. The winner will be the 3. They'll have to play Oneida.
No, the winner will be 3, and they'll be playing number 2 in Region 1.
Oh, okay.
So the loser will be the winner will be the 2 seed. The loser will be the 3 seed.
Got it.
And then I know one in the Anderson County region is Granger, Union County.
That's the game of the week, Rockwood,
yeah,
Cumberland Gap.
So the winner's the 3 seed, and the loser will be the 4 seed.
4, yes.
So if Rockwood wins,
I will look up.
They're at Oneida?
No. If Rockwood wins, they will play seed 2 from Region 1.
Okay. Right.
which I will look that up right now and be able to tell you who that would be.
Probably Oneida, I'd say.
No,
Well, no, they'll have to
no.
go from the other side. It'll be somewhere.
Oh, okay.
It'll be somewhere far, far away. A Hampton, a Sullivan, a
The first round. game.
Happy Valley, or something like that. Let's get our next one up there.
But Happy Valley's a tough place to play, they say.
So we got our 3A playoff bracket, Johnson and Unicoi County. If Johnson County wins, they're the 2. Unicoi County wins, they're the 2. And the Kingston GP game, the winner of that is the 3 and the 4.
Good question.
Chucky Doe, that's they call that the black hole.
Yeah, you see what? If you look, West Green already has their date with Alcoa, so the winner of the Kingston game would be play Chucky Doak, and the loser would either play Johnson or Unicoi County.
So if you're watching from West Green, you should probably get your basketball attire out. All right, let's check our next one out. That is going to be 4A.
And you've got Anderson County as the 1 seed, and the winner of the Granger Union County will be the 4. The loser does not make the playoffs. There's a chance that Larry Kerr's team could play Anderson County 2 years in a row.
Interesting.
Now, Matt, who would AC play if they win?
AC right now is the 1 seed. They would either play Granger or Union County in round 1. Depends on which team would win, and Larry Kerr with Union County would have to come back.
I'm talking about the
in the next round. It determines, because right now if you look at it, it's Greenville versus the winner of the East Hamilton Howard game. Whoever wins that game would be Anderson County's second round. So right now it looks like Greenville, and I showed them the same thing that I looked at on Max Preps. Well, it says Elizabethton would be that game on the 15th.
Yeah,
Somebody's fudged it.
They got the schedule mixed up on that.
All right, let's move on to our next one before we have to get into our picks. That's a lot to digest right there.
Which the easiest way to determine this one is, Powell and West are the 1 and 2 seeds. Fulton and Oak Ridge, if Fulton beats Oak Ridge, they will be the 3 seed, Oak Ridge will be the 4. If Oak Ridge wins, they are the 3 seed. If Carnes beats Clinton and Fulton loses, Carnes will become the 4 seed.
That's what I was, yes.
And then Campbell County has to have Carnes win and Fulton win, along with the Campbell County win over West to be the 4 seed. Which that one is less likely, but you never know, and especially in a rain game, because Fulton had West 15-0 at halftime.
So Fulton's not in for sure.
No, Fulton has a chance.
They have a chance.
They can be the 3 seed.
Okay.
If they beat Oak Ridge, they're the 3 seed. They're in with a win.
Okay, there we go.
Fulton better win, or they better. Queener and Cox better hope the Dragons beat Carnes, or their Falcons ain't going to make it.
So. Yeah, Fulton is rooting for Clinton, but
Cox and Queener, y'all better come on out to Clinton. Come out to Clinton Friday night. We'll get you some Clinton garb.
Let you guys lead the parade, lead the homecoming parade that was canceled from last week.
There we go. All right, do we have one more?
Yeah, this is another set of 5A brackets right here. You got a lot of chances in that for Seymour. Seymour could still make it in after the horrible start they had to the season. And then I was actually at Halls yesterday. Halls still has a chance to get knocked out after the great start they had. They have to win and have some help to make it in the playoffs.
Dang. All right, we've got just a few more minutes left. Sleepy, why don't you run down our games for us, and we'll...
Yeah, let's look at our games, final week of the regular season. Well, am I mad up by 5 games? Chase is trying to make a move on me.
I'll have to check, but last weekend, Chase and Sleepy both went 8-2, and I went 9-1. I'm kind of regretting my Coalfield pick over Oliver Springs. I would have had a second 10-0 because Sleepy's already got the 10-0 for this week.
Dang.
Or for this year.
2 of them.
2 of them, yeah. Sleepy has 75 wins. Chase has 70, and I have 67.
So we're all not half bad.
We recovered nicely, didn't we?
Yeah.
All right, Sleepy, give them to us.
First one, Greenback at Oakdale. Wow, that's going to be brutal. I'll have to go with the Greenback.
I'll have to go with the Cherokees as well.
Go Cherokees.
Simply put.
Let's get next game, Midway at Oliver Springs, Matt. Midway is 5-4. Oliver Springs 7-2. Won 4 straight.
I'm not going to go against the Bobcats this time.
Wise choice, Mr. Hagan. Oliver Springs Bobcats.
I'll take the Bobcats as well. The next game, Chase. Here's a good game here. Oneida 6-3 at number 10. Cofield 6-3. That's tomorrow night. That's the rivalry Thursday. My BLT game of the week. Orange and black on Halloween.
I like it. Is Brad still in here? All right, good. I'm going with Oneida for this game. The Jackets are going to drop 2 weeks in a row.
You don't want to steal that part then.
Yeah.
I'll also go with Oneida.
And I'll be different and go with Kingston on this one.
You got to fade some of them.
I mean Cofield.
Yeah, Cofield. Sorry, I looked at
You said the Jackets.
Exactly.
Speaking of Kingston, they traveled to Gatlinburg. Big game right there for third place in the region. I'll go with Gatlinburg Pittman at home.
Give me the Yellow Jackets on a slide upset. That's going to be a really, really tough game.
Now I'll go with the Highlanders of Gatlinburg Pittman.
There's one.
The next game, Sequoia at Anderson County. Sequoia 0-9. Anderson County, I don't think they're overlooking Sequoia. You think they are?
No, I don't think they are, even if the caller from earlier thought I did.
Give me Anderson County.
I'll say Anderson County.
I'll take Anderson County. The next game, this big game in the Region 3. Carnes at Clinton. Carnes 2-7, Clinton 1-8. Dragons big win last week. I'll go with the Dragons at home.
Give me Carnes. Get another game on Sleepy.
I'll go with Clinton because they're the ones that are going to determine that 4 seed.
So Dragons are going to get you a win there, Mr. Queener and Mr. Cox. So get your Fulton Falcons in. Speaking of Fulton, Oak Ridge travels to Fulton. This is a game here. Fulton's going to be playing for their playoff lives. I know they don't want to leave it up to Clinton. I'm going to take the Falcons at home upset.
Give me Oak Ridge.
I'll take Oak Ridge as well.
Oak Ridge is playing well, but Fulton, they need it. Cumberland Gaps at Rockwood, OEB Law game of the week. Cumberland Gaps won 4 straight. Rockwood's won 2. Give me, who you got, Matt?
I'm going to go with Cumberland Gap on this one.
Oh, he's going to lose another one. Give me Rockwood.
Yeah, I go with the Tigers at home. Powell travels to South Dole. Powell 9-0, ranked number 2 in the state. South Dole number 10. You got Chase.
I learned week 1 not to pick against Powell, so I'm going to go with Powell.
I'm going to go upset here, another upset. I'm going to take South Dole, Elijah Young.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Cherokees after their upset over Central last week.
Sleepy has given me the lead on a silver platter.
Giving you a chance. And our last game, Loudon at Red Bank. Wow, this is a good matchup. Loudon number 4, Red Bank number 3 in AAA. I'm going to go with Gerald Riggs and Red Bank.
Give me the Loudon Indians a la Archie and Blake Cosner.
I'll say Loudon to end it off.
All right, and that wraps up our pick segment. Thank you all for tuning in to this week's edition of the Locker Room Chat. I'm Chase Clem, he's Sleepy, he's Matt Hagan, and we'll see you next Wednesday night.
Bring a blanket.